Holy cow, it's week 14 and it's hogging the mic and we're back. Kenny's actually at his home. That's a miracle in and of itself. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins. The other host, Kenneth J. Paltrow III. How you doing, buddy?
We have never lost in Las Vegas in the history of the football team.
Oh, they've lost in Las Vegas, just not in that way.
No, I've lost in Las Vegas. They're undefeated.
You've lost a lot, but not what you needed to. Max, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing as good as Kenny slept on his first night back from Vegas after being up for like 4 days straight.
That's the first time Kenny's been up in a long time. I want to say that's a really nice and very festive background you got there. I like it. I support it.
Thank you.
I will say, not you, Mr. Maximus Bacon here. I will say it's not very inclusive. I know Hanukkah's over, but it's nice looking. It's very nice. I'm glad you thought of it.
Hanukkah's never over.
I figured you'd want me to get rid of my Braves background, you know.
I just heard a curse word. We're gonna have to bleep that out. Like nobody's talking about the Atlanta baseball team here. It's disgusting.
You notice they haven't lost since they won the World Series, right?
But you know what? We are talking about Max. We're going to talk about that. You know what we are going to talk about, though? Our football team, the ones we love dearly, the ones we hold above any other sports franchise in this world, in our hearts, truest, dearest, and they love to just hurt us, but they've won 4 in a row since the break. We called them dead in the water, and then we said poop floats, and now here we are, a 4-game winning streak. How you guys feeling?
I saw
it's
a
good happy cast. It's a happy cast. We're happy.
It's not because they're gonna lose.
Whoa. And that's the show, folks. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins. Be here every week. Sadness is not something you take, it's something you eat. Or whatever weird thing that Eddie says at the end of every podcast. What do you mean we're gonna lose?
I'm not picking them. I know I'm gonna I was going to pick them this last week. I'm not going to pick them to win. I'm doing this for the sake of the team. I've lost all hope because when I lose all hope, that's when I do something.
No, but the thing is you're lying. You're lying to me. You're lying to Max. You're lying to yourself. And worst of all, you're lying to the Hoggies. You believe just like we do. You are a believer, and it's over, Eddie. Sorry, they're going to disappoint all of us probably, but we believe again.
I don't believe in that H word you said. I'm pretty sure that's a lie. I'm pretty sure that's a thing that doesn't exist. But no, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose, and I don't want them to lose. They're gonna lose. I'm gonna win because I hate the Cowboys more than most things. That's how I was raised. That's how I was bred. It's not racism. It's I hate Cowboys. Have you seen them? They're stupid. They got funny hats. They got stupid boots. I don't like silver. I don't like blue. And mostly Dak Prescott, I don't like you. I'm taking over Kenny's poems. I hate them all.
It's like a Freaky Friday thing.
I thought you,
Kennedy.
There you go.
By the way, I just noticed this. This is Kevin Nash or Diesel's penis right here.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out so everybody can stare at it the rest of the time. I thought you never picked against Washington whenever they played Dallas. I thought that was your thing.
I don't. That's why he's lying to us.
I don't.
All the Hoggies.
But I'm sacrificing my competitiveness in this for what needs to happen. That's what I'm doing, guys. It's strategic.
So
it's thoughtful. It's caring. It's giving. I'm not thinking about myself here. I'm not being selfish. Giving season.
Perfect video today. It was like a summary of what's happening to Washington right now. So like you had all these wrestlers, they were beating up on Hulk Hogan, and he's laying lifeless in the middle of the ring, and Macho Man gets on the top rope and drops the elbow, and then Hulk Hogan just jumps up and starts hulking up out of nowhere. I have a like that's exactly what's happened to this team right now. 4-game win streak. I don't know where it came from. It's about to be 5.
I don't know that they're hulking up. I think it's more like a long morning wood, you know? Like it's there, it's present. It's not quite where it could be. But it is. but it is prevalent. I don't think that like they've won 2 games back to back. What, 17-15? I don't think that's hulking up. I don't think that's hulking up. But something has awakened. Something stirred. It moved. In the words of George Costanza.
In 4 weeks, we've beaten Tom Brady, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr, who are all pretty good quarterbacks.
We beat
one you might call the greatest of all time.
They beat a 9-fingered quarterback, a cheater, a has-been, and somebody that's had a question mark over their head more than an NPC in a World of Warcraft game. It's sad.
That beat Dallas the week before.
Beat that in May.
Had 11 days to rest when we had a short week.
Who's Dallas? Is Dallas even good? Does anybody believe Dallas is necessarily good?
I think they're imploding a bit.
Are they the class of the NFC? Are they even near the class of the NFC? Are they top 3 in the NFC? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think that defense is that good.
They're good. They're a very good team.
They're decent. They're NFC East. They can't be that good.
Probably top 5 in the NFC. Will they be after this Sunday? Eddie says yes. Max and Ken say no.
I don't think so. I think football team loses 5 straight.
5 straight.
5 straight division games.
Yeah, at the end, the last game of the season, Landon Collins gets trucked at the 1-yard line to give up the go-ahead touchdown to Daniel Jones. Somehow
he'll get his foot stepped on.
It's awful. But what a 4 weeks.
It's been fun.
It's been something. It's really been funny over the pandemic and this season. My girlfriend Kim has, I think, begrudgingly become a fan of the team. She's seen the pain that we go through. She's like, why is it every week? Why is it every week down to the last second? This is stupid. I was like, yeah. Now you see why I'm so angry.
Number 2, Hoggy.
Number 2, Hoggy. Eddie, as the Caps radio announcer John Walton once said, it's okay to believe.
I'm like Mulder. I want to believe, but I'm more realistic like Scully, and I'm like, there's not enough evidence here.
We won 4 straight. It's fine. You can be optimistic now. Maybe we'll be sad in 6 weeks. Then you know what? Then you get on this in front of all your fans behind you right there in that studio, and then you be sad. Let it happen first.
Right there in that studio, the stadium?
No, in your little action figure fan.
All your fans.
I don't call them my friends. That's weird, though.
Well, I call my bobblehead my friends, and no one thinks I'm weird. Anyway, moving on. It's okay to be happy right now. Smile. Do it. We're gonna do. You know, there's a new segment we're gonna debut. It's called Eddie Smiles for 10 interrupted seconds, and go.
Yeah, that's. Don't see that happening. He's even got the beard. He's even got the beard going. So like
our subscriber count's down in the negatives now.
Jeez. So
after every win, we're gonna do Eddie Smiles for 10 interrupted seconds, starting now.
I look like I had some sort of horrible seizure. It's not a natural thing that my face does. Some people have resting bitch face. I'm just resting. This team is beaten. Yeah, resting Redskin
resting
face.
Bruce Allen victim face.
Beaten the happiness out of my life face.
By the way, your boy Ken is 2-0 on the road this year, improving my record. I looked the other day to 10-26-1 on the road.
That's awful. That's awful.
Well, it's like the law of probability. Most things end up going back to 50-50, so that's what he's working on.
Right. So it's the first season I've seen 2 wins in the same season on the road since 2010. I don't know if anyone remembers that year because you shouldn't. We beat the Titans and the Jaguars both in overtime on the road. I was at both of those.
I was at the Titans game and I almost died. I was in the press box. I met and hung out and had halftime lunch with Sam Huff and Sonny Jurgensen.
Oh,
They
wow.
were trashed.
Which year was this?
It's when we all went to
2010.
Nashville for Miller and Aaron's birthday or somebody's birthday.
Okay.
I think you were there, Max.
I might have been. I was gonna say I've been to at least a couple of Kenny's road losses. We were both at Cincinnati and Indianapolis. Like
by the way, fellas, I want you to know in 5 days time, that game at Cincinnati in 5 games time happened some 13 years ago. We met each other, the serendipitous thing that created Hog and the Mic.
We're old.
We discussed it that day after doing an ice luge.
Oh yeah. And Max really did an ice luge, if you know what I'm saying.
Took a cold shower. I'm pretty sure like all I remember of that trip was just it was like extremely freaking cold. Like
Max, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure how you remember any of that trip.
It was fun. I do. I forgot you were there. No, I'm just kidding.
This is now hogging the intervention.
That was a different Max.
Well, we're all grown up now, and we had our fun. It's all good.
Speak for yourselves. I got back from Vegas for 6 days. Never going to rest.
Did you make your bet, your seasonal bet on the team winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, please, Eddie. I can do that straight from here now. I don't need to go to Vegas anymore.
But it felt like you just liked doing that. Like it felt like a ceremonial Kenny thing.
But then FanDuel told me, I want to know your bank account access code. And I said, here you go. And also here's my social security number. And then they said, now we owe you. So don't gamble, everybody. It's bad for your health.
Yeah, this is why I don't care about knowing about the gambling.
What is your social security number?
It's 17 to 15, and then another 17 to 15.
6969.
I see what you did there.
Anyway. So what is to be credited for this win streak? Is it? I think one part of it has to be said, and I think he keeps making a case for it week after week, day after day. It's Taylor Heineke. Is he the man?
Number 4 in a row.
I mean, you got to be impressed with him, like we said. And he's had his ups and he's had his downs. He's had his very frustrating moments, and he still has his limitations, I think. But he's a 28-year-old rookie, and I think he keeps playing smarter and better football. I could say that, and this week it'd be a complete travesty with 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. But he's been a lot smarter. He's put the ball where it needs to be, and he's taken what's given to him and taken the big shot when it's smart, which is something that was different than the earlier in the year.
Like
I do think though that in a game like this one coming up, so I'm okay with Taylor Heineke being Taylor Heineke. He's going to win us a lot of games by game managing with some spectacular plays around. A game like this one at home. If this was in Dallas, I wouldn't care as much. This is home. This is the game where he needs to step up, even him. I need to see like a 3-touchdown game, like 250 to 300 yards, where he puts this team on his back. Even if we end up losing a game 38-31 because our defense just poops on the field, I'd like to, at least from Taylor's perspective, see him play exceptionally well. Not elite. He doesn't have to play like a perfect game, but just like he needs like a Kirk Cousins stat game where he just puts up a lot of numbers. I think that's the game we're looking for today.
I don't think we want that.
Well, without the second half of the fourth quarter where you throw 4 interceptions.
Yeah, no turnovers. You know, we got the news, I guess it was this week. It might have been last week. I can't remember, honestly. But, you know, we got the news that Fitzpatrick's definitely, like, out for the year. Didn't even think.
What a jersey to own, Kenny. What a jersey to own.
You're right. Yeah,
Mark Sanchez was worse somehow.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson?
Like a couple snaps. But didn't even think anything of it. I mean, that tells you kind of where we're at on Heineke. It wasn't like we were begging for Fitzpatrick to get back. It's like, oh, well, he's out for the year. We'll see how it keeps going with Heineke.
Yeah, and it's the more hopeful situation. It's the one that gives you a little bit more legs. It fills a spot that's very, very important. If he has his limitations and his limitations stay as they are, and he doesn't turn the ball over, and he can have these drives, and he can be smart, and the defense can play better, and they can get healthier, and they can play more consistently in the future, and that's a recipe for a win, especially if you can have the number one leading rusher in the NFC in Gibson. If he can only, and he did last week, stop the fumble bug. But Gibson is definitely one of the recipes for success here, especially J.D. McKissick as an answer to him. They have Jared Patterson behind him, and who's it, Smallwood, who got like one or two carries this last week.
But, yeah, and like out of nowhere too, we signed a guy that we had on our team briefly, like 2-3 seasons ago, and he contributed from out of nowhere, like for a couple plays here and there.
And that was good, especially with him out.
I never thought that when I saw the stat about Gibson being the number one rusher in the NFC, I was kind of surprised. Like I didn't.
Me too.
I didn't realize that he was that high up in yardage. Like it's pretty crazy.
He hasn't played like exceptionally. He's played like good. He's played good, and then to be number one to play good, it's like I look at I'm watching Dalvin Cook right now. This guy's running for looks like 5,000 yards. How is Dalvin? Like I know he's been hurt, but like how is Antonio Gibson number one in the NFC?
Yeah, that's my question. I think like we've in our minds negated all the yards we've watched him run for as he's fumbled multiple times. Like it's kind of one of those things like you behave for a while and then you do something really bad and your parents forget about all the good stuff you had done.
And old Santa Claus on the mind. It sounds like somebody's been teaching one of his children a life lesson recently.
Probably.
That sounds like some good parenting.
We're so old. Old.
It's like when your grandchildren come back from the candy store.
Are you one of the grandparents in the bed on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? For some reason, sleeping leg to leg like this, there's two sets of grandparents in this.
That's how grandparents used to copulate.
And completely useless unless you tell them you have a ticket to a chocolate factory tour. Then they get up and dance and sing. They're fine. Suddenly, no more bedriddenness. It's weird. Kind of like the Washington defense, no longer bedridden. Apparently. First half of the season awful. After the break, wow.
I'll say this:
15 points in the past two games.
My midseason award goes to both. I want to say Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. I was ready to get rid of Jack Del Rio. Dudes figured something out because we lost our top two defenders on paper, and we improved 5,000%. And I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, is it Chase Young? Is it Sweat? I just think that Jack Del Rio saw the limitations and fixed it. Like, I think he was stubborn for those first 4 or 5 games and said, all right, this isn't working. And now has fixed his defense. We're playing with guys that are second and third stringers. And they look like Pro Bowlers.
Yeah. Well,
Smith Williams. Who knew who Smith Williams was 5-6 weeks ago? This guy is one of our better players now.
I'm just glad that
addition by subtraction?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I think right now we got Chase Young and Sweat back. We would be twice as good.
I mean, it's just fortunate that Del Rio listens to this podcast and he heard me say he should move Landon Collins to linebacker, and he did, and because he knows I'm a smart guy, and it just worked out.
Number 3 Hoggy, Jack Del Rio.
That and whoever just returned from the time machine in Kenny's apartment there.
What happened to my apartment?
Whatever noise was happening behind you there.
That was Max.
It was me.
It was his Christmas special.
It's my Christmas tree.
That's an awful sound. But yeah, I think it's a combination of Taylor Heineke really paying attention. He's taking what's there on offense, and he's also not making the big mistakes. Even the interception that he had was a tip, not necessarily his fault. Which is good to see. I think he's played a lot smarter football, and I think he's played a lot more consistent football here recently. You've seen a lot of the stats come out of PFF about him. He might be the one. If he finishes this season out as strong as he's played these last 4 games, I'll feel really good about it. But what if he doesn't? What if he plays so these next 5 games? What if it's here and there, a couple good games, a couple bad, like 2 good games, 3 bad games?
I think.
Do you go into next season with him as a starter? Or do you have a competition going into camp?
I think you have him as a starter. I think he's earned that over this year, and I think he has earned himself the title of bridge quarterback in worst case scenario.
I think that you should go into every season with competition. Personally, that's just my old school football talking. I mean, unless it's him and Kyle Allen again, there's no point. But I mean,
is that real? But like old school football guys make that comment a lot, but how often is it real? You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, they're coming in here competition. It's blah 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 against a first string or a first round rookie. You know, the rookie, as soon as he gets a chance, is getting a chance. Like and it's most likely to start the season off more times than not.
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for God knows how many years, and I mean, it felt like it was just because it was Brett Favre, even though he wasn't playing all that well.
And that's a rare occasion too, if you think about it. Like, do you actually bring in like a noted veteran, like a name? Do you just bring in somebody that you know is good, at least gives you a solid backup? Do you stick with Kyle Allen?
Draft somebody. I still think they need to draft a quarterback. I mean, it doesn't have to be first round by any means, but I think the smart thing to do is to take a quarterback you like. You know, for instance, our boy Hooker from Tennessee, like he'd be a good like 5th, 6th round, see what he's got kind of quarterback.
Yeah, just like Cole Johnson from JMU, just take him in like the 1st round or something, and
or maybe ETSU's quarterback.
Gross, not ETSU, and certainly not Liberty. I wouldn't take any of them. I don't know. I think we'll see how everything kind of pans out. I don't know that I would go too high around on a quarterback at this point, especially if he keeps playing consistent football. If he goes and you know wins 2 more games, loses 3 more, you know, maybe I start creeping up in rounds 3 and 2 or something. But I don't know how the team's necessarily going to be that much better next year with a Taylor Heineke that's had a full season under his belt. I think he showed that he grows from experience.
Yeah. I mean, the real question you got to ask is, why would you ever bench a Super Bowl MVP?
Super Bowl. Hey, I mean, we may end up having to spend our 1st round pick on a like a right guard if Scherf doesn't re-sign, or you know, honestly, there's going to be a piece we need way more than quarterback since they have
Scherf can go. Scherf can go.
I mean, lovely guy, but he may be commanding too much money for an injury prone type of guy.
He can go. I'm okay with him going. And I'm okay with him trading Sweat. 2 things I'm okay with.
We won 4 games in a row. Our draft position is going to be somewhere in the teens.
That's why I'm saying those are the things I'm okay with. You can let Scherf go, and you can trade Sweat and get some picks, and I'm okay with both those things. Because they're not going to be able to get all
Sweat.
They're not going to be able to get all those line under contract, I don't think. And Sweat's not as much of a team player as other guys, and I'd let him go.
You got to take your personal vendetta out of this and look at this.
It's not a personal vendetta. I think it's logical. He's not a team player. He puts himself over team. True or false?
False.
I actually agree.
False. Absolutely not.
Max agrees with me.
I do. I'll preface this by saying, like, I'm all for, you know, your right to choose, you know, but whenever it comes to you're on a team, you're getting paid millions of dollars to be on this team and do what's best for the team, you kind of have to put your personal decision, you have to put the thought of the team into your decision, and I feel like it would have been just as easy for him to get vaccinated like everybody else did. I mean, I understand he's like a freaking like high profile athlete. He's probably as low risk of COVID as you can get, but like everybody else did it because they didn't want to be out for 10 days. You saw what happened to Dallas. Like Amari Cooper missed 10 days. They lost 2 games. Do they win one of those games with Amari Cooper? I don't know.
And you got to think about it. It's not just his, he's probably not putting his livelihood on, right? He's not a bubble guy. He's a guy that's got a starting spot, but he's putting other guys on the team that may be on the bubble on the spot, plus a coach that is just had cancer. He's not a team player.
I agree with all this.
I don't want to get overly political, but that literally that's kind of my thoughts on him. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to keep all those D-line guys. And if you could get something for him, if you get something good for him, if you got to let one go, I'm fine with it.
So here, but
especially with our dad's playing so well.
We're all focused on this season, which we obviously should be. Going forward, this whole COVID protocol thing is probably, and knock on wood, the last season we have to do this. So if we're saying team player, this issue will be dead next year. And outside of this specific issue, I think he's a team player. I also think he's one of the best defenders we have. So I just say keep him. If COVID 21 hits between now and December 31st, trade him.
You're missing the bigger point though, Kenny, is they're not going to be able to keep all those guys on D-line.
No, right. So
who do you let go then?
Payne.
What?
He's actually played like the best 2 or 3 game stretch of his career these last few games.
Payne is gone. You have Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, Montez Sweat.
Okay, so Montez Sweat. Wrong
combo.
We have way too many issues like on the team as a whole that we could greatly improve with a couple more picks. Like you trade a Sweat for like a first and second rounder, and you roll in Smith Williams and Shaka Toney in his spot, and then you've got another Terry McLaurin on offense. Are you really going to miss Sweat that much?
And Shaka Toney actually played pretty decent this last week. Kind of surprised at how well he played.
You'll say he's always going to do that. Sweat when he's Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys 2022.
We're not trading him to Dallas. We'll trade him to like the Jets or somebody.
And you can't always worry about stuff like that. Like they're gonna have to make a decision. They're gonna have to get value for somebody. The Patriots have done it for years, trading away high-profile, really, really good players, making sure they got good value for them, and then making sure that they took those value in picks and they actually turned it into reality value. So if they can do that and they can actually have a good draft from the picks, it sets the team up for a better spot. And it may not be Sweat. That's my preference. But I think it's got to be somebody eventually. And I think that's going to be one of those things that kind of comes into focus here in the next little bit. We don't have to think about that right now.
Sign Montez Sweat to a max contract.
All the contrarian.
Hey,
playing tiddlywinks in the corner by himself.
I will say I'm not. I don't want to get rid of Sweat. I just think business-wise, team-wise, it could be a smart move. I mean, if we don't do it, I'm not going to go cry about it or jump off the bridge. I'll be fine. But it's something to think about.
It's just from what I've seen, that's my pick. Other guys showed me more in other ways, and some things push you in one direction or the other.
Name him team captain and started him at quarterback.
Good Lord.
So you can buy his jersey.
So what do you give? Let's just stick it to team groups here before we flip it over and start talking about this week's matchup. Over this last 4-week span since the break, Kenny, grade the offense, defense, special teams, and coaching really quick. Let's not spend too much time on it.
Okay. Coaching, I give a B+. I still think we're being put in games that are too close, where we're still making some mistakes. Like we've been. I think at the beginning of the year we were playing close games that we should win and losing them, and now we're playing teams or games that we should be winning by 3 touchdowns and keeping them close. So I'm still giving a B+. Offense, C+. Like could be a lot better. Red zone's gotten better, but I feel like there's lots of long stretches of games now where at first we were going 70-yard drives and just like pooping at the end, and now we're just like doing a lot of 3 and outs, 4 and outs. Nothing's happening, and then Taylor Heineke's just magical 80-yard drive, and like that's why we win the game. Defense, A. I think the defense is the best thing that is the reason why we have a 4-game winning streak. Their turnovers can like get probably a little better, but teams can't get first downs on us anymore. I read today our third down percentage went from dead last and almost historically bad to 8th in the NFL over just 4 weeks. So massive improvement. Was there anything else? Special teams.
Where you at on Jamin Davis?
Jamin Davis, B-. I don't even know who that guy is still. Don't even know if we've traded, cut him, if he's starting. I hear his name once every blue moon. He makes a tackle, and then I see him give up 4 touchdowns. So it's his rookie year. I'm not ready to like cut the cord on him. Jamin Davis gets a D-. He gets a 64 out of 100. Special teams, A. And I'll tell you why. We're on our 4th kicker, and he won us a game. I think that's the most you can ask for from a special teams unit in football.
And Cheeseman may make the Pro Bowl reserves.
You guys and Cheeseman. Max, what are you feeling? Run down real quick. We got a couple seconds here before the segment break.
Yeah. So I would say coaching, we went from all down in the sewer with Pennyworth or whatever his name is to now we're on a Macy's Day Parade float, and we're happy as can be. So our coaching right now is a for this win streak. Offense, I would say a solid B-. Heineke's been great. The running game looked pretty good. Yeah, I mean they're doing enough to win games, but nothing spectacular. Defense, A for sure, because like Kenny said, it's the best thing that we've had going for this entire win streak. And special teams, I'm with an A. I'm an A as well on that. Like Brian Johnson out of nowhere, he's won 2 games this year, and one not on our team.
All local to the DMV guys. Kind of weird how the kicking game happened. Sly was our guy, and I was behind Sly. I'm gonna say, yeah. I like Sly. Got hurt. Appreciate your contributions.
Service.
Blew it. That's about it.
R.I.P.
As far as me, in my rounds go, I'm gonna give the coaching this round a little bit better. I think they're about a B+. I think they can get a little bit better. A couple of things they can sharpen, but they're being real smart. And I feel like Ron, something he hadn't done in the beginning of the year, which is motivate the team a little bit. You can see him pushing them. I like the little David versus Goliath rock toss with the wall thing they're doing. And the team seems to enjoy it too. Offense, they stutter. I'm going to give them a B because they win games and they pull out drives when they need to. Taylor Heineke's a big part of that. Terry McLaurin's an even bigger part of that. And Gibson's there. They've got a lot of parts. A couple more pieces. They're going to be even better. And I think Heinicke can get better. Willie, we'll see. And yeah, I'd give the defense an A-. I think they're good. I think they can get better. There's a couple things they need to refine, and they always make me nervous. But the past few weeks, they've been playing good. When they shut it down at the end of the Raiders game, it made me feel good. So I'm not gonna bet on them though. I'm not gonna bet on them. But in my heart, my dream.
28th, well.
Yeah, I will. I will, Kenny. I freaking will, because I'll still have Christmas spirit in my heart. But I'm ready. I'm ready for this week. It's a Jenkins family tradition since 2007, but has been halted because of COVID. For my dad and I to go to the Redskins Cowboys game, our first ever home game. Him as a however old he was, Jesus, he was what, 47-year-old man. It was his first time ever going to see a Redskins home game in his entire life. Been to like some preseason games at random places in Tennessee and whatnot, but it's the first time he ever saw one at home. Beat the Cowboys by 21. Sean Taylor year, it was a great time. But ever since then, we tend to go to it every year. So I'm excited for him to come into town. I know Kenny's excited for it because he loves to confess things to my father in the throes of ecstasy that are usually wins somehow when my dad is there.
So full disclosure, I'm going to be sober at this game on Sunday. I have a wedding the night before, so I'm just going to be miserably hungover the entire game.
Are you gonna? Is it part of your Hanukkah?
It's sober. Hanukkah ended 3 days ago, Max.
I don't know these things. I just know.
You can tell he's from Florida.
I just know that the Christmas and Hanukkah are somewhat close to each other.
Yeah, he celebrates Kwanzaa too.
A bunch of candles.
I celebrated Hanukkah at the Monday Night Football game.
And then
nice.
And then the closing of Hanukkah in Las Vegas. And much of
the
middle.
Of Hanukkah in Las Vegas.
I heard you were at the Vegas game with our number 4 Hoggy, Martin. That's
right. He's probably our number 1 Hoggy for real. But yes,
he's our number 1 supporter, I will say.
Well, he needs to spread the word all throughout Europe about how awesome we are,
so that all 4 people that care about American football can root for us.
There's one of Eddie's fans.
I think we need to talk about this week's game. That's not what Dormammu sounds like at all, but let's talk about this week's game. It's the big one. It's the one, as a fan of this football team, whatever name you want to call them, you're going to hate this team growing up. It's a rivalry. At one point, it was one of the greatest rivalries in the NFL, in NFL history, per se. Now it's very one-sided. If you look at the wins, the losses, the ties.
Don't look at them then. Don't look at them.
It hurts my heart. It used to look a lot better pre-90s, but it's going to get better. Maybe this is the turning of the tide. I'm hoping so. Keep my fingers crossed. But I'm excited about it. It has never stopped my excitement for this game. I'm always excited about it. And here we are. I hate that it's in December again. Because the NFL loves scheduling this game in December. But I'm excited for it. Yeah, every NFC East game but one in December. But I'm excited for it. If you're going to win it, you win it here, it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you have hope. It's going to make you feel good about this team going into next year and into the general future, because they took down everybody in the division at least once in the month of December. And where is the season won? The month of December. So I've got to know, before we get to our picks, for our team to win this game, what are 6 sizzling keys to victory?
Sizzle, sizzle.
And there better be 6. I'm counting.
Kenny looks like he was frying a jellyfish, but
it was a blooper.
Yeah, for Mario. All right. So I have 3 offensive keys and 3 defensive keys.
Max, I like that. Look at you. You're keeping it even and balanced like everything should be.
That's right. So on offense, we need our boy TH4. He's getting ready. So he's on a 4-game win streak. RG3, he had his, a 7-game win streak to end the season? I believe
something like that. It was broken up in between the Ravens game and then the next Browns game where Kurt played, and then he played. Yeah,
right.
It was broken up.
Couldn't even reach the number on his jersey amount of wins. Our quarterback now could do that.
That's right. So TH4 is about to put a 9-game win streak together if he can get the ball out quick, because Dallas is going to have DeMarcus Lawrence back. And They actually have one of the top, if not the top defensive rookie this year, who me and Eddie both wanted Washington to draft, Micah Parsons, if you remember. So he's going to have to get the ball out quick. So number 2, we need to keep the run game established. It seems like the last games on our win streak that we've been – you're really killing me. It seems like on our win streak, we have kept with the run. Like, even if the run wasn't working, we kept with it the entire game. That's something very important you got to do.
Couldn't agree with that more, Max. Ball control. Yes. It's old school football, baby.
Yeah. How many fourth quarters have we bled out? Like, it's been pretty impressive.
I'll take it. I'll take it, brother.
Number 3, I think that this is going to be the Curtis Samuel breakout game that we've all been waiting to see.
This is a Kenny timeout. He's off my boat. Continue.
I'm waterboarding him.
Hey, he's going to prove y'all wrong this year or this game.
You know what? He's a poor man's Paul Richardson.
Oh. Yikes. Well, good thing he's our number 5 Hoggy, and he's hearing all this, and he's going to go off. Like, we're getting the ball to our dynamic playmakers. Curtis Samuel's going to have a good game. But most importantly, Scary Terry, Trayvon Diggs' dad, is going to have a couple touchdowns.
What is 7-1? What does that mean?
1-7. Scary Terry.
That's right.
Or is Eddie doing 71 and wishes we had Trent Williams back?
Probably that too.
No, that would be Charles Mann. Thank you.
Sorry, okay.
Kenny.
Baking it up. I'm stealing your plates and your
dishes. You're good. Our defensive scheme is going to be kind of determined if Landon Collins is playing or not, but we need strong play from the linebackers, whether he plays or not. That's very important. Dallas is a running team. They run the ball well. They throw the ball out of the backfield well. Dak Prescott likes to run. So you're going to have to key on Dak, number 1. You're going to have to key on Ezekiel Elliott because Pollard may not actually end up playing. If he does, he's also a dynamic weapon. And number 3, we're going to shut down Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
Who do you put on Cooper? Do you leave somebody with him the whole time and follow him across the field? Do you zone him? Like, how do you attack Amari Cooper to not let him get that big shot, to not let him be a big threat in this game?
I would say you just do whatever the heck we've been doing. I don't know what exactly that is, but it's been working. I don't think honestly, pretty sure in the Seahawks game, William Jackson was tailing DK Metcalf the whole time, but I don't know which player you want to even key on between Cooper and Lamb. I think they're both pretty tough.
DK Metcalf silenced. Deshaun Jackson silenced. I'm no longer worried. Landon Collins isn't back there. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Jackson's played a lot better. Kendall Fuller's played great. Like, that pick to seal the Seahawks game was like such a vet savvy pick. That was amazing.
Reminded me of the pick he made at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
It was good. Just the way he closed on the ball, the way he looked at it, he zoned in. I was impressed. And Kendall Fuller's been in and out of my shit list this year. Whether that be because of not getting pressure or because of his own accord, I'm not sure. But guy's playing real good football right now. So now that we have those delicious slices of bacon, kosher bacon, mind you, I gotta know, Kenneth J. Paltrow III, what is your pick for the game?
Nope. Before we go there, Max, read me the standings of our picks.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I did a poll with all the Hoggies. 98% of them care about this.
Kenny, if there's anything all these.
No one cares because Eddie's in last place and he doesn't want to hear it.
These fake hoggies know is that you have no poll.
Max, read it. Embarrass Eddie live on the air. Do it.
Yeah,
all
you
right.
would want to see Max beat it.
I'm starting to see a box of. I'm starting to see a box of crackers creeping into the bottom of Eddie's screen.
Step for crackers.
So Kenny is 7-4.
7-4. Almost like our football squad.
Yep. I am 6-5. And Eddie is 5-6.
Ooh.
Yeah, but ask why.
Not even a winning record.
And if we would have made picks last week, Eddie would have been 5-7.
Oh, I already told you. I was honest with it.
I picked us to beat the Raiders for sure. Just because Kenny was going to be there.
Really, if Kenny would stop going to games, I would pick them every week. It's
2-0
really my hate.
this year, undefeated. I've never seen the Washington football team lose on the road. Thank you very much.
That's a lie.
No, that's not a lie. The Washington Redskins lost all the time. The Washington football team, 2-0. Washington football team never lost to Dallas. Washington football team undefeated in Vegas. And that being said, the Washington football team was left for dead at the bye week.
You should be more Miz Khalifa and get on your knees and shut up.
4 wins later, the Washington football team hold the 6th spot in the NFC playoffs. This week, the Washington football team plays those Dallas Cowboys, who are doing pretty well, but are slipping a little bit. When the Dallas Cowboys come to town, the Washington football team will defeat them 37-24.
I didn't think it was December 28th.
Mark it down. Another win for the champion of predictions.
I didn't know it was December 28th already. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So is it me or is it you?
It's you. You're a distinguished gentleman with children.
All right. So I never want to be used in the same sentence with enema and children, but
I never said enema.
Oh well, that's what I heard.
All right, stick that NC-17 label right on the podcast.
I said you were a distinguished gentleman with children.
Oh, gentlemen.
And Max said, child enemas. Let's talk about that next.
Jeez. Oh man. I was like, what? Why is he calling me that? Anyway,
it's like a bad Blink-182 record.
I thought he meant. I thought he was trying to say like enigma, and then it came out enema, and I was just really confused.
If it was Miller, I would have said a poignant enigma.
Right. So my prediction is that Washington wins 17-15. No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be amazing? That I think.
Predict it.
Yeah, or a 17-17 tie. No, I think that it's going to be a higher scoring game than our last couple. Dallas is a more high-powered offense than the last couple of teams we've played, and I don't think their defense is all that great. Washington wins 27-24. Book it.
The real Kenny of the podcast.
Depression pants. Here comes old depression pants. Hit it, Eddie. Tell us we're going to get shut out at home, 400-0.
Eddie Omega.
By the way, to all the hoggies listening, Eddie doesn't mean one word he's about to say. He's going to say this and then pray to whatever Kenny Omega god that he listens to. And
Tony Khan.
Immediately after this podcast. Eddie, tell us your depression.
Hey there, I'm from Canada. I don't know what a football is. But you know what? I know what a V trigger is, and I'm the Don Callis and some stuff and some bullet clubs, and I'm the best Kenny. And this weekend,
best Kenny.
This weekend,
we should have a Kenny death match. But anyway,
this weekend, This weekend. This weekend. You hear me? You hear me, other Kenny? You hear me, other Kenny?
Can you
This
just
weekend,
say the things you're supposed to say?
Washington, 24. Dallas, 31. Final.
Get out of here.
He doesn't mean that.
He doesn't mean it. That was a lie. He just lied to everybody on this podcast. Sorry, Hoggies. Eddie's going through something. He can't be happy. One day he will be. And it'll be actually Sunday night. We should do a live podcast after this. So you actually predict us to beat the Eagles the week after.
We'll have Eddie's dad on as a guest.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
The Jenkins hog.
I do. Come on, Mr. Jenkins.
My favorite thing about my prediction was that noise. My second favorite thing is getting Kenny's last thought. One non-compound sentence before we close out this episode. I'm glad you're home. I'm glad we're recording this week, Kenny.
13-0. 13 straight wins.
Oh, until we win the Super Bowl?
Hey, we're like basically already there. 13 straight wins. Let's go. Cowboys week.
So we're
beating the Cowboys. Happy cast. We're 10 seconds of uninterrupted Eddie smiling coming to you live next week.
Are we statistically eliminated from the number 1 seed?
We're 6-6. No, we get the number 1 seed.
Yeah. Arizona's just got to basically lose out.
Yeah, maybe they even can win a game. Who knows?
I'm just switching cameras over here.
Eddie needs
10 seconds of uninterrupted smiling. Sorry, Eddie Jenkins. New weekly segment on this show.
I'll get my smiler fixed. Max, please give me a shorter sentence than that.
Put me on the spot, why don't you? Sure. Have a great merry week before Christmas, everybody. And
have a merry generic holiday.
Yeah, that's actually offensive, Max. So try again.
Anyway, look at us. We're here. We're back. We're bringing something to you. Maybe it's entertainment. Maybe it's whatever that is there on below. Is it Satan? Is it Kenny? We're never going to know. We're at the end of another episode of Hog and the Mic. I'm your host, Eddie Jenkins. For your other host, Kent J. Patrick III. That is horrifying with the other host, Maximus, not J. Q? Bacon? Maximus? I don't know. Bacon the Fifth saying, remember, attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. See ya.